Merrill. Good.
Joe, what's your status? What are you planning to do with the guys out of spring training?
Yeah, I mean, not a whole lot physically. I'll try to be as involved as I can and, provide support and assistance wherever it can, be taken. But physically, it's going to be probably the end of spring, start of season when I start throwing. So progress into like some plyo balls and, weighted ball stuff, but no baseball catch until at least, season starts. So.
How much do you plan, given what your role has grown into being with this team, to be around the team this year while you're rehabbing from this long process?
Yeah, I mean, I expect to have a normal travel schedule as far as the season's concerned. They want me here. I want to be here. Even in the past when I had to, skip out on a few of the Colorado series with the elbow issue over the last couple of years, like missing 3 games feels like you miss half the season, You come back and, everyone's talking about certain things. There's jokes going around. There's situations that you miss. There's conversations. So I like to be a part of that stuff. I don't like to feel like I'm playing catch up, so I'm going to be with them as much as I can.
How much have you enjoyed taking on this kind of a role, hosting Camp 44,
yeah.
kind of being one of those guys in the clubhouse?
Yeah, I think you're considered a veteran in this game so much earlier than it used to be. When I first came up, I had this assumption that I had to get to my 10-year mark before I can start really calling shots or, start using my voice a little more. And then spending time in Houston and winning a ring there and taking it to Pittsburgh where I was expected, to be a leader of a staff. I had to step into that role a little earlier than I expected. And I learned a lot and took it here where I had a chance to kind of squeeze back in between Snell and Darvish and, use a little bit of my experience and also learn from those guys. So I've enjoyed it. I think I've grown a lot. I feel like I'm making a bigger impact on the team, than I have in the past, especially with me physically being out now. I got to be able to bring something to the table, and I feel like that's where I'm, putting my focus.
Can that help you with the rehab, knowing you can't throw? Does it help you, pass the time or make it somehow make it okay that you can't throw because you're helping in another way?
Yeah, it gives me, tasks. It gives me challenges, and I have, my own set of fears and uncomfortabilities with, speaking and getting up in front of a group of men that are, at the same caliber as me. So I still feel like I get those challenges and, the little butterflies before camps and stuff of, wanting to set the right tone and say the right message. And it doesn't always come out perfect every time, but I'm learning and I'm growing, so.
You've always been so honest and straightforward. How much concern do you have with what's happening at the top of the organization, the lawsuit, and do you think it affected the offseason in any way?
Yeah, I mean, there's a little uncertainty, but, I think everybody here trusts AJ, and I've gotten to spend, a handful of years with him now, and, he backs up what he says, and he's, made it a point to tell us that he's going to always do his best to put, the most competitive product on the field. And he's done nothing but that, in the time I've been here. So I got a lot of confidence in him. Yeah, there's some uncertainty with what's going on up top, but really that's out of our control. I think, regardless of who's running the show at the top, we have a job to do, as a team. And, having the majority of guys that we had in the last couple of years coming back again with the same coaching staff and, the growth and the progress and, the fun that we had last year is just going to continue to grow with these guys. So I'm, a little more focused on that.
That being said, it's concerning that it was a very, very quiet offseason for the Padres, which seems pretty unlike AJ. Michael King getting done was important.
Yeah.
But is that concerning to see how much better the Dodgers have gotten and the lack of moves by this team?
I don't know. I mean, I think it gets elevated when you look at, the additions that you make. But, I mean, you look at our roster, we're still a top-tier roster here with, guys that are still in their prime and performing. So having King, get his deal done gives us a little bit more comfort. Cease, sticking around and Louis sticking around through the trade talks so far have been, comforting as well. But as a player, you don't really look at that too much. You try not to compare off seasons and, put too much weight into that. What we've done all off season is to prepare to win this year. And, regardless of the moves that were made or not made, our job is remaining the same.
As Jake does too, do you think the Padres are being overlooked given everything else that's happened around the game and personnel moves?
I think it gets a little bit lost in the mix. But, that can be a relief at times for guys. It gives you a little freedom to go out there without the expectation and go out and just play baseball. And, we'll prove that we belong in the conversation.
You saw how much Jackson grew last year.
Yeah.
What do you see from him as you see him on a day-to-day basis?
Yeah, just full commitment, to his game, to the team, to growing as a baseball player and as a leader. He's, very quickly become a leader in the clubhouse. Whether that's, the big vocal leader or just by the way he performs and the consistency. For a rookie to go out there in a new position, in a premier position, and play 150 plus games, fight when he was, supposed to be given those day offs to get back in the lineup. You just see the love and passion that he has, and it's inspiring. It rubs off on other guys, and it's, a guy that we want in our clubhouse.
How would you describe your experience with the rookie courtship?
Wait, say it again?
The rookie courtship, your experience with it, what was your
Yeah, I got to spend 2 days with him, at dinner, and got to chat a little bit, and then spent a day with him, here at the field, and we enjoyed him. We, did our best to make a pitch, and clearly it wasn't good enough. So, I haven't put too much thought or weight into that,
Manny said he thought Rope already had his mind made up. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I don't know, dude. The guy's been on a world tour the last, couple of weeks, so probably a little bit worn out and exhausted. And, towards the end of that trip, maybe you don't get the freshest, most excited rookies. So, I don't know how to feel about that. I'm not in his head, so I'm not going to, say he acted a certain way. But I could see where Manny sees that. It, had a little feeling like he was either a bit worn out or kind of knew where he was going to go already, and was just kind of doing the optics of going around and doing his visits. So.
According to what the other teams are doing, especially also the Padres, investing a lot more in players, what to say to the people or the fans that not only thinks but believe that this is becoming more and more the Moneyball game or the pay-to-win game from the players' point of view?
Yeah, you look around the league, there's a lot of rosters with really talented, teams that are expected to, be in the final running at the very end of the year, and some don't get there. So, some things look really good on paper, but, the chemistry in the clubhouse, the experience, the leadership group that you have, those things all play a big factor into it. So, regardless of whether we added guys or not, we still feel like we're in the, the top runnings for that championship spot. So.